Dave's Warhammer Crusaders, and today we are going to be going over the weapon frame family and how to get them to fit into build crafting better. My goal in this video is to make the weapon frames more customizable to your builds and allow for different types of perks to succeed on these weapons. My goal is to not make it so other perks are worse, just to make certain perks better, if not allowing players to access a playstyle that may not have been accessible before. So, before we get started with all the changes, I want to go over the ones that won't be changing. Adaptive frames will not be changing. I feel like they're good as is. So as well with the Hawkeye Precision, the Burst Weapon, and the Wave Frame. Grenade launchers all are great weapons. So why don't I think any changes should be done with these? Well, they're all pretty customizable. Hawkeyes allow you to get targeting on them. Adaptive frames will allow you to get better stats. The aggressive burst weapons will allow you to fire an extra burst, which makes certain perks already better. And wave frames are wholly unique by themselves. And then there's the ones that just need to be removed from the game. Vice Rapid Fire, I understand there's one Vice weapon, but, well, all Rapid Fire Scouts should be automatic. Omolon Adaptive, it's just the Omolon perk, and the Suros Rapid Fire is just a fully automatic sidearm. And honestly, Rapid Fire sidearms should be fully automatic. Now, speaking of rapid fires, let's talk about changes to rapid fires in general. As I just said, scouts and sidearms become fully automatic, and all of them will be getting the alloyed magazine treatment. Now, they do get a slight damage bonus, a slight reload speed bonus, but it's never been said what it is. So I'm just going to say let's buff it up to the alloyed magazine. And the thing is, with alloyed magazine, for instance, let's say we bring up a sidearm. You know what? Let's bring up the Suro sidearm from the Vanguard Strikes. I'm currently actually pulling it up just to show you how these numbers can change things, right? So this thing has a base reload speed of 0.66 seconds, right? So let's say you dump your entire magazine, your reload speed of 0.66 seconds, 1.66 seconds, goes from 1.66 to 1.411. But if you have alloyed magazine as well, it drops it all the way to 1.19. Ain't that something? Then you could have any other reload speed bonus to change the reload speed even further. So this really does push a new perk and allow you to get a lot more out of builds with just this small change. And this is what we're going to be going for all of them. So moving on, we have the precision frames. Precision frames are the headshot kings. And for the most part, their recoil control is great, except for scout rifles. Scout rifles need to be buffed up to at least 75. Some are already there, but most are at like 60, and I think there's even one at 50. Precision frames should never drop below 75 recoil pattern. Second thing, they should also be getting a headshot increase of about 10%. So with a 10% headshot increase, this will allow precision frames to kind of be the kings of headshot damage. This allows certain perks like Outlaw, Dragonfly, Focus Fury to really excel because you're already going with headshots. And it will also allow certain weapons like 180 RPM hand cannons and precision frame scouts to really take the lead there. Lightweight frames. Now, all frames in the next video will be getting a mid-air effectiveness bonus, but lightweight frames are getting the biggest bonus. If it's a lightweight frame, it should be getting a plus 15 to its current mid-air effectiveness, which puts most of these lightweight frames into the 20s. And Adept, and well, once you see the video, you'll see how crazy this shit can really get. But we're going to be moving on from there to the high impact frames. Now, the high impact frames is where things get very interesting. You see, with the high impact frames, we should be seeing a increase to our flinch resistance, maybe by 5 to 10%, depending on what the high impact is, or seeing a better stability scaler with this. Now, the flinch reduction and what we're about to talk next will only be triggered when standing still. So what I could see is doubling the flinch reduction while standing still, and also allowing it to gain a damage reduction based on stability. So this gives the high impact frame family a new breath of life. I would probably have it be 5% damage reduction per 10 stability you have. So that roughly translates to like each stability is 0.5, because at 5 you hit, at 10 you hit 5. So moving that to damage reduction and flinch reduction increasing while you're standing still, I think that's great. It gives you a reason to actually stand still, because if you're at like 50 stability, that's a 25 damage reduction. And high impact frames rarely hit 100 stability. In a high impact frame adept weapon, you could put a stability mod on there and gain a plus 5 while standing still, DR on top of whatever you had before. Speaking of DR, let's talk about shotguns. Pinpoint shotgun should be getting a 10% damage increase to headshots, because I don't feel like getting heads is really that satisfying right now, and should also be getting a flat 10% damage reduction. No. And should be getting a damage reduction that caps out at 25. So the reason why I say that is because pinpoint slug shotguns can generally have some pretty good stability. Now, I think precision frame shotguns should also scale like this, though that might cause some problems. For instance, if we pull up a random shotgun, pinpoint slug, let's go with the ye old king of old, the first and last out, the Philo. And we're going to jack up its stability, right? So we're going to give it a plus 10 stability for the masterwork. Then we're going to be leaning in with something like maybe chambered compensator. Then we're going to be leaning in with steady rounds, right? Now we have a stability of 75. And every 10 equals 5. That means at max, you're going to be sitting at 50, at half about 70, at half about 25. We're currently at 75, so that's like a 32% damage reduction. That's pretty good, and it's only going to affect PvE, mind you. This is not a damage reduction for PvP. This will allow you to get up close and personal, because let's say you had the 20% damage reduction from the you got 20% damage reduction from your max resilience. That means you're sitting at like a 55% DR, which definitely helps running at something with a shotgun. It might even allow shotguns to hit the meta for Grandmasters. Jesus Christ, why did that go so hard to say? And then we have the other buck-based shotguns. So buck-based shotguns should be getting a increase to DR just like this, but I'm not sure if it should scale less or more, they normally have lower stability. And I really don't want to be giving pinpoints and slugs the greatest bonuses. Slugs will be getting a headshot bonus, and maybe we should be giving each frame a different DR increase. I don't know, maybe a wrist walker if we scaled it the same way with something like Shrouded Barrel and a stability masterwork. But then they could go something crazy with no, yeah. Actually remove all that. So the question is, how should we scale each one? Let's say pinpoint and precision are at the top, right? No, aggressive frames. Pinpoint and precisions are at the second highest, sitting at 50 at max stability. Maybe we could see something like the high impact frame family scaling better with precision, but the issue is that they have very, very low stability numbers, and it might be near impossible to get these up to really good stability. Let's bring up the Found Verdict, right? Let's say this family scales up to 60% at max. Or even, we could even bring it up to 100, and you'll see why it's not that good of a thing. And we're going to max out stability with this, right? So we're going to increase stability, then we're going to be putting the Adept Stability mod on there. So from here, just alone, we're getting like a plus 20 to stability. Then we're going to be putting the Shrouded Barrel on. And then we're going to be putting the Steady Round. So we're going full into stability with this for a 67. And if that was a scaled 1-to-1, that sounds really powerful, but you do have to give up so much. You could also add the Slide Shot, which gives you an extra 30% while sliding, which is a 90% DR for like 3 seconds. Maybe that's okay. That has to be scaled. Maybe have shotguns scale 1 DR per, maybe. But I do think shotguns should be getting DR based off of their stability stat. I think slugs and precision should be at 50 since they have naturally higher stability. For something like a really good precision shotgun, Prophet of Doom, you could have max like stability close to 100 because you can get Slideways, which gives you plus 20 stability with base stability of 82 if you max out your stability based on your stats, which is very powerful. And that would be a 50% DR every time you slide, though aggressives give you a 90% DR. This gives you higher headshot damage. This all would have to be play tested, but shotguns should be getting DR based off of how much stability they have. Now we get into aggressive frames. Aggressive frames should be doing way more flinch. I think aggressive frames and the perk Yeah. Now let's talk about the high impact frame family. Now let's talk about the aggressive frame family. Now the aggressive frame family and the high caliber round perk both should be getting a bonus to flinch. Now, it can do anywhere between 6 to 11% more flinch. I think this should be bumped up to 10 to 15% more flinch, while aggressive frame should naturally have 10% more flinch. This means with that perk combination and frame, you'll be doing 20% more flinch, countering players who are doing a flinch-based build, anti-flinch based build. Their increase won't go as far as they think. Double fires should get the same scaling per bullet, which there is one double fire, which is the Warden's Law hand cannon. Which, yeah, okay, I get it. That was not the greatest hand cannon, but they're probably going to be bringing it back as an adept weapon soon, and I think it would be a cool thing to see more double fire hand cannons. If not, if they don't want to bring it back and we just won't see it again, it's going to be sad, but there's nothing I or you could really do about that. If we gave Warden's Law, and with its previous perk pool, it didn't even have high caliber, right? So Warden's Law would be doing 20% flinch by itself. Then you could like even put like an anti-flinch mod, like, oh, it doesn't even have one. Wow. This weapon wasn't great. So we might see an improvement with it, but I would like to see Warden's Law doing a lot more flinch. And that's it. That's all the weapon frames currently, other than the aggressive frame burst linear. But I really don't think that really should be a thing we should be focusing on. Now, let's talk about new frames that they could be adding. So we could see some serious improvements on certain weapon archetypes by allowing we can see some serious improvement on certain weapon types by giving them new frames. We could see a improvement to trace rifles and an improvement to the now that covers all the frames, but let's talk about adding some new frames. See, I would like to see a new trace rifle, a new linear, and a new bow frame families. So the new trace rifle families, I would like to see the high impact frame family, mostly due to the fact I would like to see just a laser beam of death like kind of build where I don't have to be avoiding enemies as much. I think we could be seeing a high impact frame trace rifle family and a new frame family called, I don't have a name for, but I do know what I want it to do. See, the high impact frame trace rifle family would be great because that means you could just stay out of cover for a while and hit enemies for a long period of time without having to worry that you're going to die. Then we could have the support frame, and this will heal you and your enemies based on how many hits you make with this weapon. Yes, that's already a perk in the game, but I would like to see a more support role for trace rifles. Hell, you could just make it heal your teammates rather than just healing you. I would rather see it heal your teammates more than healing you because I feel like it would break the game a bit. Now for bows, I think we should have the war bow. So the war bow would have the longest draw time, do the highest damage per shot, and give you it essentially is a high impact frame bow. More better flinch reduction, better PvE, damage reduction while standing still, but have a grossly long, maybe not grossly long, but a long draw time. This would mean you would have to counterbalance it with certain perks, but you could still get a lot out of this bow. And with that being said, I hope you join me in the next video where we are going to be discussing the mid-air effectiveness of weapons and how we could be improving it in general. With that being said, thank you very much for watching. Please hit that subscribe, ring that bell, and comment, because these videos aren't easy to make, and I would really like you guys to be like, yes, this was a good idea, or no, idiot, you didn't realize this. You know, especially that other thing, because I would like to actually, you know, make good content. With that being said, peace!